Hi, everyone. We're going to let you all filter in for a little bit and then we'll get started. We're just waiting for people to filter in and we'll get started in a minute or two. We'll get started in about 1 minute. All right. So we're going to begin. I know more people are going to filter in, and we'll get started with introductions. So hi, everyone, and welcome to our Next Steps webinar with Forstheimer Honors College. Congrats, everyone, on making your decision and joining our honors family. We're really excited to have you. Today's webinar is going to go through kind of this summer, what you should expect from us, from housing, schedule creation, welcome week, and kind of just get you prepared before we start during welcome week in August. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat or use our Q&A function. If we feel a question that you've asked is going to be answered later on in this PowerPoint, we'll probably tell you that we're going to wait on that question. And if for some reason you feel it still wasn't answered, you are definitely welcome to put that question in the chat towards the end when we'll do a specific Q&A. But you can ask your questions as we go. So my name is Jackie Coppell. I am the Associate Dean of the Honors College. You have probably received several emails from me at this point over the last few months. I am an honors alumna myself, and I work with the computer science students, computer science honors students on the New York City campus. I teach history and I teach product development, and I co-teach a honors Seidenberg University 101, which you'll find out what University 101 is shortly. And I co-teach that with the Dean of the Computer Science School. So I'm going to pass it to the next person on our list for bi-campus staff, Dr. Bill Offit.
Hi, I'm Bill, and you should call me Bill. Say hi, Bill. I am the faculty advisor for the Honors College. I've worked with the Honors College in a variety of capacities for the last 23 years. Right now, I teach a learning community for freshmen called Reacting to the Past, which I know some of you have already decided to take. Thank you. I also teach in the University 101, primarily business students. I'll have about 40 advisees out of the freshman class. So I'll turn it over to Mohini next.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Mohini Gobin. I use she, her pronouns, and my light just turned off. That happens here. So I'm the Associate Director of the Honors College. I'm also an honors alum. I advise students who are within the sciences, including environmental and pre-health students, CHP students, psychology and applied psych, as well as any undecided students. I also teach in psychology at University 101. I will now pass it to Carol.
Hi, everybody. Carol Turco, Senior Staff Associate here on the Pleasantville campus. I've been at PACE for 19 years, 10 of which have been with the Honors College. I am not a PACE grad, but I am a proud PACE mama. My daughter did her undergrad and grad in School of Ed. And I'm going to pass it on to Nori.
Hi, I'm Nori. I'm the academic advisor for Leuven and College of Health Professions on the Pleasantville campus. I am a PACE alum. I also play basketball at PACE. I graduated from the nursing department, and I'll pass it to Taylor.
Hi, everyone. Please excuse my voice. I'm getting over some sort of illness. My name is Taylor Powers. I am the other academic advisor on the Pleasantville campus, and I advise Dyson, Seidenberg, and School of Ed students. That was my cat, so sorry. I'm also a PACE alum, not honors. I was a transfer student, so I couldn't really make it into honors. But I did my undergrad and grad here at PACE, so very familiar with everything that goes on here. I also teach UNV 101, and I am the honors mentor point person on the Pleasantville campus. I will send it over to Eli.
Hi, everyone. I'm Eli Ratner. I'm an academic advisor here in the New York City campus. I advise our Leuven School of Business students, as well as economics, business economics, and math. I'm now going on 3 years at PACE, not quite yet, but by the time you're here in the fall, it will be. And in addition to my advising, I also handle some data and sort of clerical backend stuff for us, including transfer credits and placement tests. So a lot of you have probably already gotten emails from me. If you haven't, get used to it because you're gonna get some emails from me. Please respond. Well, respond if you need to respond. But yeah, looking forward to having you all here, and I will pass it to Flora.
Hi everyone. My full name is Flora Lease, but you're welcome to call me Flora. Everyone at the office calls me Flora. I work in the New York City campus, specifically with the performing arts major students. And I am also the mentoring coordinator for the New York City campus. So I look forward to speaking to you a little bit more about that in the next few slides. And I will pass it on to Justin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Ritchie. I'm an academic advisor here. I advise the School of Ed, and I also advise a lot of the kind of political science, social sciences students in Dyson. I teach a University 101 section, and then I also supervise the Honors Advisory Board, which is a really great student leadership opportunity available for students of every grade. It's a great opportunity to get some kind of professional experience, real life professional experience, and also just ingratiate yourself in the honors community. And I will pass it on to Emma.
Hi everyone, my name is Emma Kunberg Orlick, and I am advising the creative majors. So if you're English, film and screen studies, communications, or anything similar to that, I will be your advisor, and I look forward to meeting with all of you this summer.
And last but not least for our honor staff, Shad. I know our phone rang. Chad might have picked up our phone.
He did, but I think he's
I did pick up the phone. Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm a student aide. My name is Chadman. I'm a senior business economics major. I'm about to graduate in T-minus 2 weeks. I also tutor at the Learning Commons, and that's pretty much, I'm also a project manager of the Honors Advisory Board, which is a great club that Justin runs that he talked about a little bit earlier in his introduction. So
And he's an honors mentor. And we have our housing operations team, well, 2 of our members here, so I'll have them introduce themselves as well. Patrick, let's start.
I'm going to start the empty screen in front of you. My name is Patrick Roger Gordon. I'm the Assistant Dean for Students and University's Director of Housing Operations. I apologize, my camera is not working. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. And with me is...
Hi, everyone. My name is Joy. My pronouns are she, her. I am one of the assistant directors for housing operations. I am in charge of assignments and the room reservation process and all of that fun stuff. So you will be hearing from me probably quite a bit throughout your time at PACE.
So we're going to hand the presentation over to our housing operations team for them to talk to you about housing for all those that are going to be residing on either campus this coming fall. We'll talk about that process, and then they're going to hand it back over to us to talk about schedule creation, welcome week, and everything else that we'll be going over. So I'm going to stop share and let them share.
All right. So I'm going to show our presentation, and it's fairly short. We always find that one of the most important parts of this conversation is the questions that you all ask, and we will get to some of them, but we also know it's an ongoing process. There'll be lots of questions throughout the course of the summer. We're going to start out with just an overview of the main steps that everyone needs to follow, some of which have been communicated to students already through the onboarding emails we've sent from housing. We'll take a quick look at the actual screen in My Housing that has what's called the arrival checklist, and we'll spend a little bit of time talking about what is in a room and what you should be thinking about in terms of packing, because it's never too early to start packing concisely and neatly for what's going to go into your room. So let me share my screen here. All right. So again, this is about next steps, and most of this conversation, Joy is going to lead. I will chime in periodically, but Joy, you want to take us through these first panel of steps?
Yeah. So these are the first few steps working toward move-in. Step number 1 is submitting a $500 housing deposit. Should have been submitted by May 1st. However, I know some people are working with admissions. If they need a little bit of a later date, you will submit that through your accepted students portal. And so $400 of that goes to reserving your spot within the halls, and $100 of that is essentially a security deposit that you get back when you leave. So please try not to do $100 worth of damage in the halls while you're here, because that's the way you'll get it back. And so number 2 is after your deposit has been processed, you will receive an email from us saying that you can start completing your housing application, which is going to be on your My Housing portal. So the website is right there. It's very easy, pace.edu/myhousing. And this must be done by August 1st for guaranteed housing for first-year students and new students.
Thank you. So just a couple quick notes. First, we do know that our honor students are some of our earlier actors, so most of you have probably done both of these things. And as Joy said, we are going to send out a lot of emails, and we've tried to boil our email structure down to once a month. So prior to May 1st, whenever a student deposited, we reached out with the directions for how to complete a housing application. We just sent our May email, which has the next set of information that you really need, which is about completing the next step, the housing agreement. We'll get to that in just a second. As well as information about how to look and how to search for a roommate and a lot of other things. And that is the all gender housing information, which talks about our policy with regard to allowing students to select rooms that are not based on binary gender. We know some of you may have questions about that, and we can get to that, but I just want you to know all of that's in that information that we sent in that May email. And then we will send one email a month. We'll send a June, a July, and an August email, and each of them will reflect what needs to happen on your end and updating you with status and information that you need for that next move forward. So again, walking through the rest of the checklist, I'm going to take the first one and then ask Joy to finish the next slide. As noted, the housing agreement went live today. I actually don't know why that little phone number is there on that slide, but I apologize for that. The Housing Agreement Live today, that is essentially your contract with us. It's your agreement that stipulates all the information that you need to know about what the legal requirements are of living in housing. Things about your payment, the cancellation policy, the terms of living in residence, etc. Once students complete that, they can only have access to that once they've completed the housing application. But once they complete that today, they will be automatically defaultly entered into the room matching process. So once that's done, you can follow the directions in that May email we sent for then going back into My Housing, opening up the roommate matching, search and matching process, and starting to search for roommates. I would say, as of today, as of right 5 minutes before this meeting started, we had 115 students who had completed the housing agreement. I'm not sure how many of them are honor students, but that means that the pool of people you might be looking at is very, very small. Give it some time to grow. Give more of your peers. We currently have 1,600 students that are guaranteed housing across both of our campuses. Some portion of those, as you know, are honor students. That number will grow over time. And so give yourself a little bit of time before you dive in and just start to search for roommates based on the criteria that we let you search for. But moving on from that, Joy, you want to talk about number 4?
Yeah. So number 4 is the pre-arrival form. As you see, it'll be available in June. And kind of noting the emails that Patrick was talking about that you receive. This will also be laid out in the email that we send out in June. So the pre-arrival form, as it says here, is kind of like a virtual check-in, just making sure that you're getting everything done, that you're on time with all your materials that you need for housing and for the university. And then number 5, is completing an insurance confirmation form. So essentially an insurance confirmation form, this is different from the medical insurance type stuff. The insurance confirmation form is basically getting insurance on your room, kind of similar to renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance kind of thing. Just putting insurance on your room, mainly for kind of like your personal belongings. If something were to break in your room, that was given to you by the university, maybe the toilet clogged or your chair got a little loose, at something like that, something that the university gave you, our facilities team can come in and fix it and take care of those pieces. But this insurance confirmation and the insurance for your room covers a lot of your personal belongings. One of the examples I like to tell students is you have your laptop on your desk is by your window and the window's open and it might start to rain. You might not be in the room and then your laptop, might essentially get damaged from that water. So, covering your more personal things. And so you can, if your family has renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, you can check with that company to see if they can roll your room into the plan. And just kind of check there first. And if not, just kind of looking around online to see where you can get your room covered.
Thanks, Joy. I want to take us just a second to make sure we're all on the same page. We're just trying to give everyone here an idea of what to expect as we roll out these steps towards you. I really appreciate the detail about what the insurance form means, because again, it is our reminder to you that it is a good idea to make sure you have coverage. It may be in the form of a parent's or family members' homeowner's insurance. It may be a renter's insurance you take out. We provide you with some informational resources, but we don't require it. We just think it's important that you understand, because there may be damages in your room for which you are liable. The example I always give is the student who leaves their laptop on the windowsill, leaves the window open, and then it rains, and then is wondering why the university doesn't want to replace their laptop, and that's because that is not covered by us. And I want to let you know that, again, we're just covering these steps and giving you a heads up, because as I flip this panel to the next slide, you're going to see 5 more steps, and I don't want to freak everybody out. There's plenty of time between now and move-in to get all these things done. In fact, we roll them out in a specific order, and you can't do some of them until certain points in the summer. So again, just to make sure we're all on the same page, you have an idea of what to anticipate. We're going to move on to the next steps.
Yeah. Yep. So number 6 is receiving your room assignment. That will obviously come from our office. And this is as long as you have submitted all the required forms. So your application, your agreement, your pre-arrival form, and your insurance form. If for some reason you end up not receiving a room assignment, definitely check back to your checklist and your account to see if maybe you missed a step and you just need to get that done or anything like that. So, number 6 is you'll receive a room assignment. That'll most likely be at the end of July, beginning of August, as we're kind of working through it. Number 7 is making sure that you're in good standing with student accounts and your immunization requirements. So just making sure that you've met all the deadlines with those 2 offices, and making sure that you're all set there. And then once that is done, you can select a move-in appointment, as it says here, as long as everything else is in good order, so that that you have a room assignment, that you've submitted all your forms, that you're in good standing, and immunization requirements are done. You can select a move-in appointment, and then number 9 is you can move in.
Thank you. This slide is really important for me to make a couple of quick notes because first, when it comes to room assignments, it's really important that this group of people understands your room assignments will be in certain buildings and certain floors. Honor students in New York City are going to be assigned to the 15 Beekman building on one of probably 3 or possibly as many as 4 different residential floors all in a row to build that honors community that we're looking for. And in Pleasantville, it's going to be in Alumni Hall, again, an all honors community. What that means for you is that when you indicate to us your building preference, to some degree, it doesn't matter. If you choose a different building, you're going to end up in the buildings where we assign honor students to. When you're looking for roommates, we strongly advise that you take time to search for them using as one of the search fields that you're allowed to use, whether they're honor students as well. That you have a conversation about that with them to confirm that they're honor students as well. Because it is a very challenging thing for us at the end of the summer if students have matched with non-honor students and we have to work with honors to break the news to you that this person you've been planning to live with is not someone you can live with. So we really want you to understand now that this is a requirement. I think it's important to note something that was just said in the pre-meeting here. Almost always we have students who approach this with frustration and sort of this idea of I don't want to be told fill in the blank. And almost always these students come back to us at the end of the academic year and say that was the best thing that would have happened to me. Thank you so much. Being a part of that community helped sustain me, helped ensure that I had the support that I needed, helped give me the ability to know that I was with a peer of like-minded people that were as serious about their academics as I am. So I think it's really important that you give us the opportunity to show you how that works. You give the honors program the opportunity to show you how important that is and that it can be very successful. So that's one caveat. The other caveat here is about 8 and 9. Almost all other students will be selecting their own move-in time. You will not. As part of the honors program, you will be part of a pre-fall program that requires you to move in. You will be given a move-in date by the honors program. It'll be a span of time. We will probably work with them to sort of arbitrarily give everybody a 1-hour time slot or an arrival window. But if you need to come earlier or later, we'll work with you within the time frame that we're going to be loading those students in. But please look for direction from the honors program about what your arrival protocol is going to be. Because you different from other students, will not actually have to log back into My Housing and set your own appointment. We will set that for you. All right. So moving on, I want to take a quick look at the My Housing form. In My Housing, you'll see the arrival checklist, which is a really important tool we use. I'm going to quickly pass the first one. That's sort of a what you see when you log into My Housing. You have your name and your U number up here, your email address, and sort of a welcome for all new students. I'm going to zoom in on this part a little bit. Let me actually back up and just make sure you're right. Over here is where you're going to do the interactive stuff, and primarily under applications and forms. If you haven't done them, this is where you're going to click, and you're going to find the housing agreement. You're going to find the housing application. Eventually, you'll find that insurance form and that pre-arrival form. They will all be here once you are ready to fill them out. And for roommate matching and rooms, you're going to click on this one that says roommate matching and room selection. And then you're going to pick the term. There's a little drop-down box. It's going to ask you to scroll to the fall 2024 term. And that's when you're going to be able to really do the searching for your roommates there. So zooming in a little bit, again, there's this welcome, and then there's this itemized list of all of the things we want you to do. So this person has filled out the housing application, but they have not yet done the housing agreement. And then the pre-arrival form and insurance form, you can say it's a see below. You'll be notified when it's available. So we want to take that stress off. We don't want to put the big word no there, because we know that you will be stressing about not being done. We want you to know you can't do that yet anyway. You are right on time. As long as there's not the word no here, you don't have homework that we need you to do. As noted, assignments will be made in late July, and then we're going to start to get data from the student accounts office in late July to just make sure that all of those things that Joy talked about, that your student account is in good standing, whether it's paid in full or whether you're on a payment plan, just to make sure that we're working with you to make sure that those things are in place, and that also your immunization compliance is as up to date as it needs to be for you to be move-in qualified. And that will also update in late July. So the last couple slides Joy will walk us through, we'll talk about what's in a room.
Yeah, so what is in a room? There are variations of sizes and shapes and layouts of the resident hall rooms, but there is a standard type of furnishings and furniture in the room. So for each student, you get a bed with a mattress, a desk or a tablet desk. This kind of depends on your room type, and then a chest of drawers, wardrobe, or closet. And then you all will need to provide your own shower curtain, so you can, choose a nice pretty one, and toilet paper, except in any buildings with community bathrooms, which I believe all of you are not in community bathroom buildings. So you will have to supply your own toilet paper. And so just to kind of go back to the note about the desk or tablet desks, so I will make this note. This is the tablet desk part is mainly for our alumni students. In alumni, we have doubles and triple rooms. Our triple rooms come with tablet desks. They roll, you can adjust them, you can put them wherever you want. And so our double rooms have like the big sturdy wooden desks. So it's kind of different, but each one kind of has its own little quirk, and they're great. So just wanted to kind of note that for you and kind of put that forward.
Thanks. And finally, just about thinking about packing, just some very preliminary advice.
Yeah. So first, you have time right now. You have time. So as Patrick kind of noted before, start. You could start now, start planning out what you would like, what your room would like, what you would like it to look like, all of that. Kind of start thinking about the essentials, and what you definitely will probably need. Please, no U-Hauls or box trucks. That may sound silly that we're saying it, but it's true. Somebody always somehow brings one. Please remember, the rooms are not that large. You will be sharing with, your roommates or your suite mates. And so please just try and pack what you can. Something I always say is, once you receive your roommate and your suite mate assignments, once you see who they are, definitely, put yourselves in an email together and just start talking about who wants to bring what. Because you do not need 4 TVs and 5 dusters and all the toilet paper in the world. It's best if you all talk about who brings what. Closed and sealable boxes and bins. So obviously when you pack up your stuff, please put them in boxes that will close, or a bin that will lock. Another piece of advice I always give students is, when you're packing, try to write your name and your room number all over the box, put it on a piece of paper somewhere all over the box, just in case, you get separated from that box for some reason. That's always really helpful. Consider bringing a hand truck or a wagon. We do have move-in bins, that, we obviously have for students when they start moving in. However, we only have so many, and we also have everybody also moving in. So just to kind of fast track your packing, if you don't want to, you're moving in, if you don't want to wait for one of those move-in bins, you can definitely have your own hand truck or wagon. And then maybe consider mailing some items to campus or order them to arrive at campus. Another piece of advice I like to give students is, try to pack the essentials first. And then within those first 2 weeks, you'll kind of start realizing what you need, what you might not need, and then kind of go from there. Everybody delivers to campus, Amazon, UPS, USPS. So you will be able to get stuff. And then we have stores close by if you need to just grab something really quickly. And then you could check our website for any more information of what to bring and what not to bring. We address this in orientation with our students. The list is subject to change. Things are always happening and things are always being invented. And so it's always changing. And then this will also all be included again in our monthly emails in July or August.
Yeah, so in a minute, the next page is going to have a link, some links that you can look at. But I just to underscore, you know, a lot of this material will also be gone over by the residence life staff when they meet in orientation. We are updating the list of what to bring and what not to bring. We want you to to think very carefully about what you bring. We don't want to have to send anybody home with anything. We don't want anybody moving in with anything that's going to get them, a little documentation with RA saying you shouldn't have brought that. So that will be rolled out. There are versions of that on our website now, and invariably during the summer we will update them a little bit more, get a little more specific. But just something to look forward to. So as we look at this last slide, this will be the point where we take questions. But before we do, I just want to point out these links. They're all www.pace.edu/ and then arrival-planning, virtual-welcome, and residence-hall are all great places to get more information about us, more information about the login, the move-in process, information about your building address in New York City. There's a map to where local parking lots are. A lot of the material that you might need, a lot of the information you might need to start planning that arrival are listed on these within these three websites. So that is our presentation. Do we have any questions?
Patrick, I was accumulating some questions to ask you guys. So the first one is you mentioned, or you both mentioned, the housing agreement form, the pre-arrival form, the insurance confirmation, and like room. I got the room assignment. The first three, the housing agreement, pre-arrival, and insurance confirmation. When are those three due?
Right. So basically, everything is due by the time we assign you. Everything should be done by August 1st. Students can lose their guaranteed housing status if they don't do so by August 1st. I will tell you a very little secret. That doesn't apply to honor students. The reality is that we work very closely with the honor staff, and they will let us know if one of you is not planning on coming. That might be because we say this student has not filled out any forms, and they reach out to you and confirm one way or the other. But we're certainly going to wait until they let us know before we withhold your guaranteed housing status. But our expectation certainly is that they're done by August 1st. And again, you can't move forward to the next step until you do one. So you can't look for a roommate until you've done both the housing application and the housing agreement. And then later, other students won't be able to log in and pick their move-in time until they've filled out all of those forms. So we build in some little barriers that make sure that, that to the best of our ability, students do them in a timely manner. But again, there's no reason to wait. Most of them don't take very long. As we said, the application has been rolled out since we started accepting deposits. The housing agreement is now available. In June, we will start the pre-arrival form. In July, we will start the insurance form. And so each of them will be available and will notify you when they're ready.
We got a lot of questions for both campuses about the suites. How big are the suites on the campuses? What are like the room configurations? Are they 2s, 3s, 4s? What's typical? And
so I'm going to talk about New York, and Joy is going to talk about Pleasantville. That's okay with her.
Yep.
In New York, 15 Beekman has a range of suite styles within the floors, and they can range from suites for 5, of which there are very small numbers of, which would be a double and a triple room in some cases. In some cases, it might be 2 doubles and a single, each sharing a bathroom and a small community space in between. Then most of the others are larger. They're 7, 9, or 10-person suites. And they have a configuration usually of 3 or 4 rooms. For example, there are some 9-person suites that are simply 3 triples configured around a common space and 2 shared bathrooms, individual use bathrooms that have, in some cases, a combined bathroom, sink, toilet, shower. In some cases, a deconstructed bathroom where there might be one room that just has the sink and the shower, the shower, and one room that just has the toilet and the sink. And the goal there, of course, is to make more functionality available to more at the same time. There are also some suites that have a sink outside in the shared area, again, thus adding more functionality. So someone can be brushing their teeth while someone else is taking a shower, and we don't have to have all of that functionality in the bathroom tied up with one person using it. Those 10-person suites are generally 2 doubles and 2 triples per room. There are some of them, some 9-person suites that are 2 triples, a double, and a single, depending on the size of the space. That question of what are the sizes, it's easier to talk about the configuration, because in general, there's a shared space, there's a number of rooms surrounding it, and there's a number of bathrooms shared within that space. The size varies greatly. These are residence halls that were built onto a New York City lot that is oddly shaped, and it goes all the way up, 26 stories. And so, where we actually apportion the rooms varies from floor to floor. So in that building, that tower, there are 4 different zones where, within each zone, all of the rooms on each floor are the same, but the next zone has a different configuration completely. And in them, some of the double rooms seem a little smaller than on some of the other spaces, and some of them they seem a little larger. And it's true with the singles. The same is true with the doubles, the triples. We basically apportion about 85 to 90 square feet per student. So a double is typically 170 to 180 square feet per total. And a single is typically about 170 to 100, it's 85 to 90 square feet. And so that's generally how we apportion the space. And as Joy said, within that, you have a bunch of furniture, right? So you've got a bed, often a bunked bed. We have many suites that are called lofted suites, where the beds have to remain bunked. That's a very important thing for folks to remember. We get a lot of folks showing up and saying, well, I have a medical reason not to stay on the top bunk. That would be considered a medical accommodation. If you have a medical accommodation that requires we not give you a top bunk, or maybe not give you the bottom bunk if there's a claustrophobia issue, you have to go through these student accessibilities accommodation services, have that documented, and let us know, because in general, it's a pretty normative activity to have students in bunk beds in a college residence hall. So if you personally need to not be on a top or a bottom bunk, it's important for you to take those steps to make sure that we know that in advance. And you do that by going through the Student Accessibility Services office. We do not in housing accept doctor's notices or notes from parents or things of that nature. We need to follow that accommodations process. Joey, you want to talk about Pleasantville?
Yeah. So for Pleasantville students, alumni is suite style. However, it is 4 to 5 people per suite. So usually when you walk in, it's kind of this like common area with the bathroom as well. So the bathroom is also, shower and the toilet are separated from the sink area. So then, if somebody wants to, again, brush their teeth while somebody else is taking a shower, like that is very possible and can be done. And then within that area are 2 bedrooms, usually labeled A and B. Some suites are 2 double rooms, so it would be 4 people. So it would be 2 in one bedroom, 2 in another. And in some other cases, it'll be 1 bedroom of 2 people, and then the other bedroom has 3. So again, it could be up to 5 people in a suite together, kind of depending on, how many people are in there, and who's in there. But a little different, not as many as 15 Beekman in New York City, but that is alumni. And it is generally they are all on one floor. The honors students are on the 2nd floor of alumni. And so it's there, and there's a lounge in the building as well that would be designated for the honors students. So not as many floors for the honors students in Pleasantville as New York City, but it is a very nice building, and alumni also has a lot of really cool amenities as well, such as classrooms and study lounges, and a coffee shop downstairs.
It's not a competition, Joy. New York is also very, very nice.
It is not.
They're both very, very nice buildings, and there's also a Starbucks downstairs at 15
Yes.
Beekman. So But yeah, just putting out there. Anyway,
But but also I see there was a link put in the chat for a link to kind of see pictures of both buildings, so 15 Beacon and Alumni, and you can kind of look at a virtual tour as well on the website. So yeah, feel free to check those out as well.
One more.
absolutely. We're happy to answer more questions. I just wanted to move to a bigger format.
So we got the same question a lot of, can I, within the suite style, since both campuses are suite style, can I pick my, can I pick my double, can I pick my triple, can I pick my quad, or are they assigned to me? So can you talk a little bit about how they'll get their space within a suite?
Sure. So the answer is no. And I'm going to be blunt. We experimented with a pick your own room process that did not work very well for us for new students. Part of it was, I just think that there's a lack of familiarity with the size of the space and the allocation of the rooms. We make this deal with you. You pick your roommates, and we will place you together. We will do our best to place you in a room that that is as small as possible for the number of folks that you have. In Pleasantville, as Joy said, we have rooms that are doubles with triples mostly. Now we may be able to accommodate some students in those rooms where we only place 2 students in the triples, but by and large, there are going to be some students that are in triples and some students that are in doubles. Similarly, in New York, we have suites that have all sorts of sizes. So we're gonna, if you go through that roommate matching process in New York, you can have groups of up to 10. In Pleasantville, you can have groups of up to 5. That helps us a lot. And we're going to place all of those people together in a suite that can accommodate that size. In fact, that's the very first thing we're going to do. We're going to take all the largest groups and we're going to assign them to the rooms that we know that number of people wish to be together. So we will do our best. And then if there's within there, since we place you in a suite of 9 and there are 3 triples and we just got the triples wrong. Like there's one person that needs to be switched out in each room. We're going to work with you to make that happen. What we're not going to do is change your overall room assignment. There is a general room freeze starting from the time assignments are made through about 2 weeks into the semester. And the reason for that is, as you can imagine, if there's a dire emergency, we suspend the freeze. However, if it's not a dire emergency, which very, very rarely is the case, we expect you to give it some time. And the fact is that most students, who have a sort of knee-jerk reaction to wanting to have a room change, ultimately go, start to acclimate, start to get to know their roommates, and then later change their mind. And that's actually a very important part of the college experience. You will be living with different people. You will need to learn to compromise. You will need to learn that this room and this suite is now shared by a group of people who all have different expectations and priorities. And so while we want your chosen roommates to be together, and we will do that, and for those of you who don't choose roommates in advance, we will match you with students who closely match you on 4 specific criteria, which are your smoking status, the time you go to bed, whether you describe yourself as a neat and tidy person or somebody who is less so, and whether you study with distractions or in silence. Those are the 4 primary criteria that research shows us aim for get good roommate matches. We will do our best to place you that way, and that might be 3 people like that in a triple room. It might be 2 people like that in a double. I know I mentioned that there might be some singles in New York, and the reality is there are, but there are so few singles. Virtually all of them are allocated to students who have gone through a medical accommodation process for which a single is required. So it's typically not an option for incoming first-year students to have a single room outside the SAS, Student Accommodations Services process.
The last question, and then we'll move on. And if you guys have more questions about housing after they leave, we will take those and we will ask them, and we can get back to you in an email. I'll be sending out a housing email later this month after we received our last set of deposits, reiterating the same things they've said and kind of answering any of those last minute questions that came up after this. But the last question that we're getting a few times is, what appliances come with the room on both campuses?
So
yeah. Oh, sorry, Patrick, you can go.
Oh, go ahead. No, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'll start off with Pleasantville first. So in each bedroom there is a micro fridge, we call it. It's a microwave refrigerator combo. It is in each bedroom in in the suite, so A and B. If for some reason you are somebody that needs, you know, their own mini fridge for whatever reason, that is, as Patrick was kind of talking about, student accessibility services. You cannot bring like an extra mini fridge, just because you want to, that is against policy. So if you do need one for whatever reason, you will have to reach out to SAS to get that arrangement. And the same kind of goes for New York City as well. New York City, the suites have, a bigger refrigerator in the common area, with a microwave there too, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. And we actually just changed our policy in New York, so that students in the larger suites, and that would be the 7, 9, and 10-person suites, in 15 Beekman, the suite can agree to add up to 2 additional mini fridges up to 4.3 cubic feet each. It's a little different than our policy elsewhere, where students in other rooms can't bring in outside refrigerators. But the reality is 7, 9, or 10 people sharing a single fridge and single kitchen can get a little burdensome. So we do want to make space for students to be able to bring that in. Just to put it in context, that's reflective of our policy in Pleasantville. It's something we have there called the townhouses, which are upper class communities where, again, 8 students share the building and they have 1 shared kitchen. In that space, we allow them also to bring in additional small refrigerators. Those are the only 2 exceptions to that policy on our campus. Otherwise, we expect students to utilize only the appliance we provide. Again, as Joy said, unless there's an approved accommodation. I will say that in our shared kitchen facilities in each building, there are ovens, sinks, microwaves, and burners for stoves. Students will be permitted to, in their room, bring coffee makers with automatic shutoffs, but we are prohibiting all other cooking appliances, period. There are none. Again, if an accommodation needs to be made for an eating allergy situation where students need to prepare their own food, that would have to go through SAS and that would be approved for an additional appliance. But the reality is, from a pure fire safety perspective, we have had to change our policy so that students cannot have things like air fryers, hot plates, things like that in their rooms. And so those are not permitted.
Okay, I'll just say for everyone, if you didn't see my message in the chat, at least for the New York City students, we have, because I know that building 15 Beekman is new. It's going to be a year by the time you get there, but it's still new. We do have on Instagram a highlight reel with all of, you could do tours, the tours we've taken in the space. So you could see the fridge, you can see the microwave, you can see the bathrooms, and we have some of our students who, after they moved in, have been great about sharing and kind of documenting their space. So you can see that if you want to get a sense of things. I will just reiterate before we have our housing team leave. Like I said, we both campuses, it is mandatory for you to live with honor students. We have been doing this for a very long time. Bill's over 20 years here, and I'm over 10 years now. And every year, our honor students say it was the best kind of experience to live with our honor students. I just asked my freshman class last Wednesday night, how was it? What did you guys think? And they were like, best experience, amazing, would do it again. They were like, if anybody has any problems or concerns, they're like, let us know, we'll talk to them. But everyone was extremely close on those 3 floors in New York City, and the same thing on our floor in Pleasantville. And it is, you might be apprehensive about it now, but it is always the highlight of the year, and it is that family and it's that friend group. And it's always wonderful to kind of hear that. So just wanted to reiterate that. We'll be sending more information. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
Just one last quick thing, just because I ran the numbers again. And again, students are eligible to select their roommates and start searching for roommates once they've completed the housing agreement. As of now, 139 students total have done so. Of those, 19 are honor students. And the typical ratio exists that about 2/3 of those are New York and about 1/3 of those are Pleasantville. So again, there's not great depth in the pool of people for whom to search for roommates. Give it some time. The roommate matching pool will fill up. Certainly, if you know of somebody, if you can search for them by name and you've already decided this is the person for me, you can go and search. make the offer. In the roommate matching process requires someone to request and the other person to accept. And it has to be done in every pair of every grouping, which means that if Jackie and Dr. Capella and I want to be roommates, I request her and she says yes. But if we want to add Joy, each of us have to request Joy and Joy has to say yes. And if we have to want to add to Bill, then all three of us have to request Bill and Bill has to say yes. It can spiral wildly out of control as we move into the 5 and the 7 and the 9-person suites. But that is required because we really only can guarantee a reciprocal match. It is not enough for me to say, Dr. Capel, would you be my roommate? We want to make sure that she says yes, because she may have declined that or not responded to my request on purpose. So just make sure you're diligent, and continue to talk to each other, really communicate, and make sure those roommate matches are reciprocal all the way around. That's it. Promise.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. And if you guys have any more housing questions, you can put them in the chat and we will ask them and we'll put it out in our housing email that's going out later this month. So thank you so much for our housing team for joining us. And now we're going to talk about all the honor specific things like welcome week and schedule making and all of that.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
All right, so let's get back into it. And this was from last year's move-in. And we're going to start about our mentoring program. And some of you have put questions in the chat. So Laura, take it away.
Thank you, Jackie. So as I mentioned earlier, I am the mentoring coordinator for the New York City campus. And just wanted to give you a little bit of information on what the New York City mentoring program entails. So all incoming freshmen receive a pairing with a upperclassman honor student. And those matches are generally based on the student's major, but there are other factors that can be taken into account with this matching process, if specifically requested within the mentee profile. So make sure that you're as descriptive as possible in those surveys that we're providing. But on a general basis, you are matched with an upperclassman within your major, just to help support you during your first year transitioning into this new level of your educational experience, both within PACE and more specifically within the honors community. So we ask for the mentor, we ask your mentor about to share with you what their experience has been for their first year, and then also just give you any tidbits on what they recommend in terms of social life within PACE, any recommended classes, any internships that they're aware of or that they have, and also any leadership opportunities. For example, one of them being a mentor, which you all as future mentees have the ability to become mentors yourself, starting your sophomore year and moving forward. So just a little bit in terms of the requirements for the honors mentors. So we have the mentors reach out to you all, also known as mentees, every month with important information regarding university or honors specific deadlines, any fun events that we have planned for that month and the upcoming month. We'll be filtering that information through the mentor, and they'll go ahead and send it to you all so that you're abreast of any events or upcoming deadlines that we believe that's important for you, specifically for honors, but also specifically for the university. Let's just give an example of upcoming withdrawal deadlines, upcoming add or drop deadlines, if you're requesting any incompletes for courses. That type of information would be embedded within this monthly check-ins. And then also just being able to attend just in general, an opportunity for someone to tag along with you to attend any honors or PACE University events. And so we look forward to seeing your mentee profiles. If you haven't already done so, it will be available once you submit the questionnaire. You will get a second notice that'll give you access to the mentee profile. And just to give you an example, the picture that you see listed on the slide is our current senior student, Vanessa Sanchez. She is graduating right now in May, and she just completed her thesis as a business analytics major. Her mentee is a year younger than her. Her name is Emmy. She's also a business analytics major. And she was able to form an actual friendship with her. They're really close friends. And this is all attributed to the opportunity that they had with meeting within honors, more specifically meeting within the honors mentoring program. So this could be you, having a new friend. So we do welcome seeing your applications and matching you with the best mentor for you.
Thank you, Flora. I am the honors mentoring point person for Pleasantville, like I mentioned before. And while we do line our mentoring process up with New York City pretty closely, so everything that Flora had said for the most part will be applicable to my Pleasantville students. There are just a couple of differences that Pleasantville has that New York City does not have based off of our smaller population. So that mentor profile sheet, everybody will be filling out. There are actually two profiles that you'll be filling out. The first one is the profile sheet, which is more of a questionnaire. And the second one is a visual profile sheet, which is, as the name suggests, more visual and a little bit more creative. We will be using that in Pleasantville to help match you guys to your mentors, and you will be seeing potential mentors' visual profiles as part of this process. And like Flora said, please, please, please try and get these filled out as soon as possible. We want to have all of our mentees match with a mentor by orientation so that you guys can begin to build those relationships over the summer. And then when you're here for your orientation, you can meet up with other mentees that might have the same mentor as you. Like I mentioned, you will have the opportunity to contact them over email or over the preferred method that you've put down for communication for your mentors. But welcome week and the first week of the semester are the opportunities that each of you will have to spend some in-person quality time with your mentors, getting to know them and having them help you throughout that really difficult transitional period of that first move in and first week of college classes.
So now Carol's going to tell us about orientation. I know we got some questions in the chat, but she'll kind of go over the basics.
Yes, absolutely. We have been monitoring the chat. So hopefully this presentation will answer all of your questions. The preferred honors orientation sessions are the ones that are highlighted in yellow. It's the first two sessions for each campus. We would prefer that you attend one of these first two sessions. You only need to attend one. You don't need to come many times. It's only one time. You only need to come once. These sessions are overnight and they're including commuter students also. So commuter students, even if you're going to commute during the school year, you stay overnight. Let me repeat it again. Commuter students stay overnight during orientation. This is just a chance for you guys to bond. So we strongly suggest attending one of the first two highlighted sessions on each campus where you'll get to meet each other and bond before the school year starts. If you absolutely cannot attend one of these two sessions, don't stress. Honors will have a presence at all of our sessions this summer, so we'll be able to meet with you, but you will not have the opportunity to meet all of your classmates since everybody hopefully will be coming to the first two highlighted yellow sessions. Parents and family members, our family sessions will take place on the end of on the second day of each session. When you sign your students in, you'll get a schedule. So make sure you check the schedule to see when and where you need to meet up with us for our family session. And students, we look forward to meeting all of you in person this summer at orientation.
It's hard. So Welcome Week, you've heard us kind of mention this a couple times. I put it in my welcome email to all of you. Honor students participate in Welcome Week every year. Our first year students, it is a tradition. You will be moving in early and you'll be joining us early. So this Welcome Week applies to both our commuters and our residential students. Our residential students will move in, our commuters will just commute to Pace as if they were doing, as if school had already started. So I'll talk to you a little bit about the dates, and then we'll talk to you about what that actually means, what's going on during Welcome Week. In New York City, our dates are August 28th through the 31st. So make sure this is on your calendars. You have set, this is when school is starting for you. Move in for our residential students in the New York City campus is August 28th. As Patrick was talking about, you don't get to pick a move-in day. That is your move-in day. You will get a move-in time. It's going to be roughly around 9 or 10 a.m. throughout the day. You will be assigned a time, but your move-in day is August 28th. So if you need to book tickets or anything else, you were waiting to book a flight, that is your move-in day. You now know. We have a parent session on August 28th in the early evening, about 5 or 5:30 p.m. We'll know the exact time after housing has kind of confirmed the exact move-in times. So we should know this probably in July. If it's going to be 5 or 5:30, we might even know a little sooner. That parent session is to go over what is to come. It's basically the next steps, this webinar, but part 2, I guess, for everything that is going to come for the next 4 years. How as parents for you to navigate that. This session was extremely helpful for our parents last year. They all kind of came to us and told us that after, and they were actually calling throughout the year saying that they found it helpful and they remembered things, and that's why they were calling about whatever was going on. On our Pleasantville campus, our dates are August 29th through the 31st. So do note the campuses have 2 different sets of dates. Move-in on the Pleasantville campus is August 29th. Again, so if you need to book tickets or book a car or anything or take time off, it is August 29th. Their parent session is going to also be August 29th on move-in day. They're probably going to do 2. They have a slightly different setup than us in New York City, one around probably 12 p.m. and one probably around 3 p.m. Again, once we know our official move-in times from housing, we will release the parent session so you can kind of plan your day around that. And we can kind of talk about what move-in day looks like. We will all be there. Our mentors, will be there as well. And it's a fun kind of operation with everybody helping each other out. So what is Welcome Week? This is your chance to meet the rest of your year. If you come to orientation, if you come to one of the honors sessions, you're going to meet a lot of honor students, but you're not going to meet the other in New York City 219, or in Pleasantville right now, that number is going to change, probably 110 students. It's a chance to meet your mentors, start to bond with them. It's a chance to get to know us. We are going to be your family for the next 4 years, and we're going to be your biggest cheerleaders and support. And we want you to know us not just in this kind of sense, of an academic sense, but in a fun and personal sense as well. And you're going to get to know your advisor. They are your biggest advocate. You will be able to find your classes. You do not want to, on the first day of school, look at your piece of paper and be like, where is Miller Hall? Where is doesn't exist anymore, West 210? And so this way you'll get to find all of your classes ahead of time. Your mentor's going to take you there. You'll find all the departments. You will have your kind of time to get to know Pace. This is your chance to know honors. This is your chance to know Pace. So basically we do this so that way on the first day of school, you are mini experts and you have already transitioned. You already have moved in. You've already found your classes. You already know us. The only thing you need to do on the first day of school is worry about your classes. All of those homesickness feelings and everything else that's going to occur, they're not going to occur on the first day of school. They are going to occur an entire week before, during Welcome Week, and you are going to have our full support. And you guys are basically the only people on campus as well. So the campus is your playground, and we're going to be there to support you. And this is what has helped our students every single year. And it's a lot of fun too. And you'll get to explore New York City and Pleasantville and the areas. We'll take you out into the city and the immediate neighborhoods and get you situated. So Eli's going to tell you a little bit more about what you need to do for us.
Of course. So we've been talking about, and we're going to talk more about all the amazing stuff that Honors is going to do for you. But what do you owe us in return? Well, not all that much. We're going to go through it. So the first thing is you must maintain an overall GPA of a 3.3. Now you might be thinking, what happens if my GPA falls below a 3.3? Don't get too worried about it. If your GPA is between a 2.0 and a 3.29, you will end up on honors probation, which is not nearly as scary as it sounds. It just means that you need to meet with your advisor, make a plan, and we will work as hard as we can to get you back on track and back up to that GPA of a 3.3. If your GPA, so you get a full year of probation. If after that full year, your GPA does fall, has not gotten above a 3.3, you will become eligible for dismissal from the Honors College, not from PACE, but from the Honors College at that point. Though you will be eligible for a potential appeal semester as well. So you've got lots of chances to get it up. We do not dismiss many students, so don't worry too much about that. But do keep in mind that we do have high academic expectations, and we're hoping you are keeping your GPA above a 3.3. Next, we require 8 honors classes. That's approximately 2 per year, but you can schedule it out differently, and you can work with your advisor for that. With a minimum of a B- in each of those honors classes. And keep in mind, these are not additional classes. These are swaps for classes that you're already going to be taking. For example, a lot of you are going to need to take English 120. That's a required class for all PACE students. Most of you are going to take that as an honors section. So not an additional course, just an honors version of that course. There are also lots of other ways that you can get those honors classes, such as studying abroad, doing an internship, being on the honors advisory board. So don't worry about that. There's lots of great ways that you can get those classes completed. And then the final requirement is the completion of an honors thesis. Now, this is either a 25-page research paper on the topic of a student's choosing, or a creative project, such as a film or a play, with a 10-page research component as well. We're actually right in the middle, it's today and tomorrow, of our honors thesis conference, which has been a super exciting opportunity. We've been seeing the truly amazing research that all of our students have been doing. We've had tons of presentations all day, so it's been really great. So I know that that can sound a little daunting, but really I think you should look forward to it. It's a great way to showcase everything you've learned during your time in honors.
All right. So if you've submitted your questionnaire by the deadline of May 1st, then we have made your schedule. Part of making your schedule is getting those questionnaires in. We do not make any schedules until we receive your questionnaires. The next deadline is May 8th, and the absolute last deadline is May 15th. Part of also making your schedule is your placement exams. We will get an email from Eli stating whether you need to do your English placement exam or not. And also, everybody has to do the math placement exam. So you'll either get you'll get an email from Eli stating whether you're going to do your English placement exam or not, and everybody has to do their math placement exam, okay? The questionnaire and the placement exams went to your honors advisor, and then we took into account your preferences, your major, your requirements, your placement exam results, and your transfer credits, and then made your schedule. If you did not submit your questionnaire, please do it ASAP, okay? We want to get your schedules out. We want to make sure that we're doing this accurate, and so the sooner we get your questionnaire, the sooner we can make your schedule so we can get you in the classes, okay?
So here are all the components that your first semester schedule should include. And I say should because you should not panic if you are not seeing any of these appearing on your first semester schedule. Just as a reminder that your advisor is working on your schedule. We're doing one at a time. So if there's anything you have questions about, let us know. But there might be, a couple of things on here that you're not seeing. So the learning community, most students will take in their first semester. This is either 2 classes or 1 class of 2 professors that are generally encompassing one theme. The foundation courses are the core courses for the university that you're probably expecting to take. So math class, lab science, English 120, like Eli mentioned for many of you, and the AOKs, the areas of knowledge, are classes that fit into categories, AOKs, and they're generally classes that you want to take, and they make you more well-rounded as a student. Honors courses, Eli mentioned, again, they're not additional courses, they're courses you're already taking, and we will put you in at least one honors course in your first semester. Your major courses will depend upon your major, depending upon your transfer credits, and a lot of the other factors that we take into consideration. But this is something that we as advisors pay close attention to. So you'll see, maybe you're taking a couple of major courses or maybe just one. So again, it's all customized to you specifically. And then University 101 is our first year seminar course. All students except for SAN students are taking an honors section. So you will very likely be taught by someone who is in this very Zoom, and we look forward to seeing you there. So that's your first semester schedule.
Okay, so let's talk about honors courses. I am responsible for putting together the menu of honors courses. Every semester you will choose, as you are choosing now through the questionnaire, which honors courses as well as regular courses you should take. We're looking for you to take at least one honors course out of usually 5, maybe 6 classes in any given semester. And there's a variety. Honors courses are not more work, they are better work, different work, most innovative work. And that is a combination we especially do in what are the first topic on this slide, exclusive honors courses. Honors students are put together with an honors professor, and we close the door and we see what happens. It's really not much more than that. We decided to create individualized courses that meet your particular needs, and you will learn from each other in only honors courses, the honors exclusive courses. There are other courses, though. Non-exclusive honors courses are upper level courses. Usually they'll fulfill some other requirement like major or area of knowledge. And they are good courses taught by good professors that we believe in, but we don't quite have enough honors students to fill up. You'll get honors credit for those non-exclusive courses, but it won't just be honors students in there. Third way to get it, and this is usually not for freshmen, but later on, is to take an upper level, a 200 or above level course, and add in an arrangement with the professor additional work for it. In this case, you have to do additional work because it's not a regular honors course, but you will get what's called honors option credit. That's another way to pick up an honors course. We also love you. We want you to come here, but we also want you to travel, so get out of here. Travel courses, those things will take you abroad, are very important. We want you to experience those while you're here, and you can get an honors credit for that. You will be able, as an internship, to have that count as an honors course. You will, at the senior year, be doing a senior honors thesis, and that will count as an honors course. And finally, there are various activities within honors, like the advisory board and mentoring, where you can earn one honors course credit as well. The whole goal is to get you 8 honors courses that you choose, that you want to do, and activities and events and experiences that are good for you. So I am going to give you one piece about choosing courses, whether this is honors or otherwise. The advice is you, the student, I speak as a professor of long standing, will decide in 5 minutes whether you like the professor that first day of class. You will decide within the first class hour whether you like the class material, whatever the subject is. If after that first hour you like neither the professor nor the subject matter, this is the time to move. Go, run, do not walk. Run to your advisor and get an alternative, if at all possible, to do so. We want you to choose your courses. So that's my free advice for tonight. You choose. We'll try to make it happen. Next.
So as you can hear, there's a lot that goes into making your first semester schedule on the advising team. And you might see it and see that, oh, I didn't get something that I wanted, or my first choice of a learning community that I put down, I didn't get into, but I got into my second one. There's a reason for this. So please trust us that we are doing what, in our professional opinion, is in the best interest for your first semester. Some of these things that can be contributing to not getting what you might have wanted or preferred could be that your placement testing showed that you needed to be in a more foundational class to ensure your success in a higher level class. A class that you might have wanted was closed. That happens on occasion, especially in that first semester, because the upperclassmen are registering earlier. Just because it's closed this first semester does not mean that it'll be closed for every future semester. You will absolutely have the chance to take that class again in the future. You needed to take a course that's required for your major. So if there's a class that you need to stay in sequence with your major to ensure that you are graduating in the 4 years that you're anticipating, we will always prefer and kind of choose that one over a class that does not help you progress within your major right away. You were put into a different class that you selected on your questionnaire that you would have liked or are interested in taking. There was a time conflict between the course that you chose and maybe a different necessary course, or if you're an athlete or if you're a PPA student, one of your other classes or commitments conflicted with the class that you had preferred. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity to do everything that you want to do and get everything out of your time here at PACE, starting from your first semester. So we take all of that into account as well. And like I said, please trust that we are doing everything we can to make sure that you have the experience that you want, while also making sure that you hit all of your boxes and complete every requirement that you need to in order to be successful.
That being said, do let us know if you need any schedule changes for any of these reasons. So first would be, and this is the most important, if you're thinking about changing your potential major into a completely different academic area or program, the example we have here is from biology to management. Let us know. We want to make sure in the appropriate courses to try out that major. If you have any APs or IBs with the scores of 4 or above, and for those IBs, they have to be HL. But for APs, yeah, any 4s or 5s, we'll accept that. We know that you're probably not going to get your score until like July. And so we do reach out once again to ask like, hey, you've gotten your scores. What did you get? So we can make adjustments to your schedule during that time. So don't worry about that. If you expect any college credit for any college level courses, dual enrollment, let us know about that. There you need to send in the official transcript from that actual university or college. It can't be something from your high school and it can't go through you. It must go through officially that school. Send them over to us. We keep track of all that information. Let us know. And then if you have any medical problems or concerns related to your schedule or any work issues, let us know as soon as possible. We can make those adjustments up until that second week of the semester.
Just want to reiterate that these are the main reasons we really don't want to change schedules. Sometimes, as Taylor said, we know kind of what you need and how it's all going to flow and piece together. So we ask sometimes that you trust us. So I want to stress that these are kind of the main schedule change reasons. Also, if you're changing, since we found out some people are starting to change from housing, commuting versus dorming, that's another one that I will add because that might mean that your hours might change for your schedule. So, Justin.
So you might be wondering who your advisor is during your first year. This will be the professor of your University 101 course. That will likely be one of us that's in the Zoom, and it might be somebody that's different. If it's someone that's not here right now, just note that it's someone that's very connected to the Honors College, someone that we vet and trust 100%. But quite likely it'll be someone that is here, and it'll be your University 101 professor. And then again, we've spoken about this a little bit, but why do you have a hold on your honors account? And I was holding your account. This is because, again, we are putting you in specific classes because we know that these classes are incredibly important for you to take in your first semester. And so we just want to make sure that nothing changes about those courses that you're in. Again, if there is a schedule change you need to make, etc., please reach out to your advisor. But the reason why the hold is there is because we believe the course that we're putting you in are incredibly important for you to take the first semester, and so it's crucial that you take them and that no changes occur.
I just want to say this hold will not impact financial aid or paying your bill or anything else. So if you do get on a phone call with financial aid or student accounts, it's just training. They will tell you, hey, you have a hold on your account. The hold on your account is from us. They're just informing you, because there are many different hold types at PACE. This one does not impact those things. So we are almost done. So smooth transitions. We want to make sure you are all set for everything you need. So as Nori said, the honors questionnaire is the next due date. You haven't already done it, is May 8th, which is in 2 days, which is Wednesday. We really, really strongly recommend that you do it by May 8th. I know many of you are in AP week. It doesn't take that long. It takes probably longer to read my email than it takes for you to sort of pick some of those classes. So please try to do it. It does not take that long. And why we're stressing it so much is you are getting first pick of classes. If you do it right now, we can get in there before anybody else, before what we call mainstream students, and get you your classes. Right now, we have made well over 100 schedules between the two campuses, and there are no other freshmen besides honors, incoming freshmen, that have received schedules or have had schedules made for them. Starting in a few days, mainstream students will start having their questionnaires looked at, and then their schedules will be made. So we want to get you in there first thing, get you first pick of classes, first pick of professors, give you that honors priority. So May 8th is the next deadline. If you really can't get it in by May 8th, May 15th is the absolute kind of latest deadline for you to get everything in for your questionnaire. The mentee questionnaire is also due May 15th. So you don't need to do that this week, but you do need to do that May 15th, because we want to start matching you with your mentor and have that done for you before orientation. And so you could start talking to your mentor soon. As soon as you start graduating, which for some of our students like Florida, that's this month, and others for New York people, that's going to be next month, we need your final high school transcript. You're going to send that to PACE. It says honors, but you'll send that to PACE. What a final high school transcript means is it has the date of your graduation on it. So you will need to just check in May or June, after you graduate, that your high school receptionist, secretary, college counselor has sent the transcript to PACE and it has the graduation date. You need to send your AP scores, your IB scores, and college credits to us. So for AP scores, just to reiterate, you need a 4 or a 5, and we will be getting those in July. But if you've already taken your AP exams, you can unofficially tell us what those scores are. So if you took some junior year ones, that's really helpful for us to know what scores you got. Otherwise, if you're already done, if you only took junior year APs, send them in. If you have nothing else waiting, send those scores in. You go to College Board. They may have raised their prices, but it's usually $10. Send a transcript to PACE University. IB, same thing. You can request a transcript sent to PACE. If you're taking APs or IBs in this month and those scores will be out in July, then you request your transcript. If you took college credits while you were in high school, you need to have those college credits sent to us. Now, there's a very, very specific process on this, so I'm going to say it and then probably repeat it. If you took college credits in high school, they may appear in your high school transcript, but we can't kind of convert those from your high school transcript. We need the college credits from your university that you took it at. So even if the professor or your high school teacher was teaching in your high school, but the credits were coming from a university, we need it from that university. So an example is many high schools here in Queens, the high schools do St. John's University, and we don't need the high school transcript with it, we need the transcript from St. John's University. It needs to be an official transcript. What that means is that it's coming straight from the university or college to PACE. No in between. It cannot be sent to you. That makes it unofficial. Can't be sent to your high school. That makes it unofficial. So the easiest thing to do is take the university, the name of the university you went to or got the college credits from, and Google, like, for example, St. John's University requested transcript or St. John's University official transcript. It should send you to a website to request a transcript. They're usually cost something anywhere from $5 to $15 usually. And you can do a paper transcript. And if you type in PACE, our address should automatically come up. If you do an electronic transcript, you can have it sent directly to the Honors College. I'm going to ask Mohini to put our emails in the chat, that you, my email in the chat, to have that sent to us. If you are still taking college credits, meaning your college, you're enrolled in them right now and it's May and you're still in them, don't have the college transcript sent to us right now because it's just going to say in progress. Wait for those grades to come in. Your immunization records are due by August 1st. Tuition payment is due by August 1st. I can't stress this enough because otherwise there is a process, which you'll find out later in the summer, where you can get dropped from classes. So you either need to pay your tuition in full by August 1st, or you need to be enrolled in a payment plan and be making payments. The health insurance waiver is due in September. They haven't given us the date yet, but you have time on it. Once they give us the date, we'll update you on all of that. But once again, I strongly want to stress this questionnaire needs to be in basically the next week. And I think that is our last slide. I'm actually going to, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to, sorry, I'm going to do it slow and not fast. So upset you all. I'm going to go back and leave this up on the screen while we take questions in case you wanted any of our email addresses again. And some common questions. I'm just going to go through common questions in case you weren't reading the Q&A, though I highly recommend you do. Just to reiterate, orientation is 2 days. That is for our commuters and our residential students. You have to stay overnight. The honors piece is you're going to have lots of different activities and kind of learn everything you need to do. The honors piece is on the second day. You'll meet with us for advising, and for our parents that are on this Zoom, the parents are going to meet with us on the second day as well. And we'll go through some more details of that when we see you. And I'm trying to think what else was a very big common question.
Jackie,
yes.
Can I mention something about sending transcripts?
Yes, go ahead.
When you go into the transcript sending portal, whether it be Parchment or National Student Clearinghouse, a lot of times it says when you put in PACE, the address that populates is PACE Pleasantville. Even if you're a New York City student, that's fine. Just send it our way. We will get it. That's just where they process the documents.
Thank you. I remembered the thing I wanted to say. As I mentioned, we have made over 100 schedules. We are going to send those, we're going to start sending those schedules out. Some of you might have already figured out how to see your schedule. We are going to start sending those schedules out that we've already made. We're going to send you an email. The person who is sending you that email is right now for this summer your advisor, and he's the one that made your schedule. And they're going to give you the instructions on how to view your schedule. And if you have any questions, you can reply back to them. Pleasantville is probably going to start sending theirs a little bit sooner this week because they are not in honors thesis presentations at the beginning of this week. Theirs is at the end. New York City is probably going to send our emails at the end of this week because we're in thesis presentations at the beginning. We're sort of swapping. So if you have not submitted your questionnaire yet, obviously you're going to get your email probably next week as we work on your questionnaire. I will say for our performing arts students, our SANS students, you all have a different schedule making timeline. You are going to get your schedules usually in June because there are special sections of things. It's based on like level, like different music theory and all that, like and placements. Wayne works with that. Not all of the performing arts deposits are in at this point. There were a few extensions. So you're sort of done on a cohorted schedule making process. But you will get that from Flora the second we have the ability to do that. So we work with Wayne. You are not behind. You're going to get your honors SANS schedules before mainstream SANS. You're just on a slightly different timeline for that. Still get those questionnaires in. because it allows us to start figuring out what academic courses we can put you in addition to your SAMS courses, and get those mentor-mentee profiles in. Any other from my team, any other major question that we saw over and over again that we need to answer that hasn't been answered?
Just from my perspective, if you are a student who needs accommodations and you're aware of that now, I will recommend reaching out to Student Accessibility Services sooner rather than later, because it is a process. They do need to go through multiple steps and it needs to be verified. And then in order for them to be implemented, it has to be confirmed prior to the start of the semester. So if you need, like I said, accommodations, that could be additional time for testing, a different testing space. If it's a housing accommodation, please, please, please have that done sooner than later so that there is no delay in that and that you don't have a difficult transition that does not need to happen.
Kind of just to add on with what Taylor was mentioning in terms of accommodations, one that has come up many times for my cohort are students that have ADHD diagnosis. So that may be, if you do have an official diagnosis for something such as ADHD, we would recommend for you to reach out to support services to get the proper accommodations that you need, especially if there's an opportunity for us to be able to ask professors for additional time, for assignments. We would need to have official documentation for services. So make sure to, if you are a former year student, make sure to reach out to me directly if you need any help with that process, and just generally any of the advisors, reach out to your particular advisor for additional support.
Speaking as a professor, we cannot provide you accommodations unless you have gone through the student accessibility services. And the second point I wanted to make, if you have like a 509 plan or IEP plan from high school, they do not, absolutely do not carry over. You must get all that done through PACE from scratch. So whatever accommodations you may have had, you have to do them over again for PACE. That's the rule.
And I have one more thing that I want to say. It goes to part of that smooth transitions. If you have health insurance through your parents or independently, please make sure that you are waiving that. Number one, that you're waiving it. Number two, that you're waiving it for the correct semester. We've had students who, most of our honor students like to be on top of things. They're going and waiving that, but they're not realizing they're doing it for the summer semesters. So that by the time they get to the fall semester, they're like, why do I have this $3,000 charge for health insurance when I don't need it? So please make sure that you are waiving it if you don't need it, and then waiving it for the correct semester so that you don't have that bill.
So with that, I lost my thought, but I remembered it. This recording, this Zoom has been recorded, so we're going to be sending out the recording. I don't want to promise tomorrow because I don't know if it'll be downloaded in time, but you're definitely going to get it this week. We're going to send out, it's going to go on our YouTube channel. So let me actually put that in the chat so you can check it at your own leisure. And we'll upload it there. You could also see other videos on housing and other things, alumni. It should be it. So that is our YouTube channel. So as soon as we are able to download the video and upload it to the channel, it'll be there and you can watch it at your leisure. And we'll be sending that out. So thank you all. If you have any questions, I've already put our emails in the chat, honors_NYC or honors_PLV, and we can answer your questions. Again, I just want to say that we are in thesis presentations most of this week. So if there is a delay in a response, that is why, but we will do our best. Thank you all so much for spending the last hour and a half with us, and we're excited to see you this summer. Bye, everyone.